If you've ever found yourself falling for a straight man, again, this video might hit closer than you expect. Because the truth is, this pattern isn't random, and it's not just your type. It's a cycle rooted in safety, validation, past wounds, and old stories you didn't even realize you were still carrying. Today, we're breaking down 6 hard truths about why gay men chase straight men. Not to shame anyone, but to finally say out loud the things most people never talk about. By the end of this, you might see your own patterns in a completely different way. But before we dive in, I just want to take a second to say thank you for 8,000 subscribers. I'm honestly still a little stunned that these videos are connecting with so many of you. It really does mean the world to me. And if you're a gay man who finds value in what I talk about here, go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you here with us. Hard truth number 1. You might be drawn to straight men because it feels safer than being fully seen. Most people don't realize this at first, but chasing someone who can't actually want you back can feel strangely comfortable. Not because you don't crave love, you absolutely do, but because part of you feels more in control when the relationship has a built-in limit. When someone is genuinely available, it opens the door to being truly known. And that kind of intimacy can be terrifying. If the man is straight, you never actually have to step into that level of vulnerability. You never have to reveal the parts of yourself you're still trying to make peace with. So on the outside, it looks like longing, desire, chemistry, the chase, but underneath, it's often self-protection. You can pour energy into thinking about him, imagining him, wanting him, while never having to risk the pain of a real relationship falling apart, because it could never fully start in the first place. It's a heartbreak you can manage, predictable, controlled, safe. And for many people, that feels easier than the uncertainty of genuine connection. Hard truth number 2. When a straight man gives you attention, it can feel like proof that nothing is wrong with you. Whether we admit it or not, a lot of gay men grew up absorbing the message that being gay made them less than or not enough. Even if you don't consciously believe that anymore, those old narratives can still live quietly inside you. So when a straight man laughs with you, flirts with you, gives you that look, or lets you get close in any emotional or physical way, it can feel incredibly validating, almost like you cracked a code. It isn't just attraction. It's the feeling of being chosen by someone who represents a world that once pushed you out. It's the deep exhale of, see, I'm not broken. Even he wants me. But because that validation is rooted in craving acceptance from the very people you once had to fight internally to be seen by, it becomes addictive. You start chasing the high instead of noticing the pattern, or the fact that you were worthy long before any straight man noticed you. Hard truth number 3. Sometimes you're not actually chasing him, you're chasing the past. Many people are surprised when they realize that attraction to straight men is often tied to early emotional imprints. Maybe you grew up with a distant father, or maybe the boys you admired in school never saw you. Maybe your first crush was straight, and that became your blueprint for desire. Those early experiences create grooves in your emotional world. Years later, meeting a straight man can trigger something familiar. Not just desire, but the fantasy of finally being chosen by the kind of person who once felt unreachable. It's an attempt to rewrite history. If I can win him now, then maybe it means I was never unlovable to begin with. But chasing straight men keeps you anchored to a story that belonged to a younger you. The pursuit becomes less about connecting with the man in front of you, and more about healing a wound you don't even realize you're still carrying. Hard truth number 4. Fantasizing about straight men can feel easier than building something real with someone who wants you. There's a particular comfort in desire that doesn't need to become reality. When the man you want is straight, you get to imagine everything. How he'd look at you, touch you, talk to you, show up for you. every gap gets filled with the best possible version of him. And because he'll never challenge that fantasy, it stays perfect. You don't have to deal with dating, awkward conversations, mismatched expectations, or the vulnerability of saying what you actually need. You get the emotional high without any of the emotional work. But here's the trap. Fantasy always outshines real life. Real men, especially the ones who could genuinely love you, will always be imperfect. So if you're not careful, you end up comparing real, available people to an imaginary version of someone who could never choose you. Dreaming feels safer. Dreaming feels cleaner. But dreaming also keeps you alone. Hard truth number 5. Wanting someone unattainable can help you avoid the fear of being truly chosen. This is the one most people don't want to admit. Being chosen by someone who is emotionally available requires real openness. It forces you to let someone witness the parts of yourself you'd rather keep tucked away. The insecurities, the softness, the flaws. And for many people, that level of intimacy feels overwhelming. So you gravitate toward men who can't choose you. With straight men, there's no risk of real closeness. You get the rush of longing without the cost of vulnerability. You can want them from afar without ever having to let your guard down. Sometimes chasing someone unavailable isn't about desire. It's about avoiding what it would mean if someone actually wanted you. Because then you would have to show up. You would have to let yourself be loved. And sometimes that is way scarier than wanting someone you can never have. Hard truth number 6. Attraction to straight men can be tangled up with beliefs about masculinity and worth. This one takes courage to acknowledge. Many gay men grow up in environments where straightness, and especially straight masculinity, is treated as the real version of manhood. And even if you reject that intellectually, it can still seep into how you see yourself and others. So you start putting straight men on pedestals without noticing. The way he moves, the tone of his voice, the way he presents himself. It all gets assigned extra meaning. Suddenly, attention from him feels rare, elevated, special. Not because it actually is, but because you were conditioned to believe it was. Part of growing into your full self is unlearning that hierarchy. It's recognizing that your desire for someone masculine or straight passing doesn't make them inherently more valuable. And it's realizing that the love you truly want won't come from someone who fits a mold but can't meet you in real life. If any of this felt uncomfortably familiar, you're not alone. And you're not broken. Chasing straight men is not a failure, and it isn't a mystery. It's a pattern shaped by experiences, beliefs, and wounds that formed long before you ever caught feelings for the first unavailable guy. But the moment you can name these patterns, you're no longer trapped inside them. Because the point of this video isn't to call you out. It's to call you back home to yourself. To remind you that the love you're searching for isn't hidden in a fantasy, or in someone who can't choose you, or in approval that never stays. It's found in the place where you stop chasing what's impossible and start opening yourself to what's real. When you understand why these patterns show up, you gain the power to choose differently. You can step out of old wounds, step out of old narratives, and step into relationships where you're not a backup plan or a secret, but a partner, someone worth loving in the open. So if you've been stuck in this cycle, let this be your turning point. Let this be the moment you stop running after people who can't meet you and start moving toward the kind of love that sees you, wants you, and shows up for you the way you've always deserved. You're not chasing straight men because you're unworthy. You're chasing them because you've outgrown the version of yourself who thought that was the best you could get. It's time to choose something better. It's time to choose you. Thanks for watching. If you're a gay man and these conversations speak to you, go ahead and hit subscribe. I post new videos every week about the things we go through: love, identity, healing, and everything in between. I'd love to have you be part of this community. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.